The facts matter.
Okay, you guys, last video for today. Alright, so I was forwarded this by a subscriber that keeps an eye out on things that are strange that are going on within the redemption movement. This happens to be from a secured party creditor forum where these people are absolutely 100% convinced that the secret squirrel account exists, and even if it doesn't, they're going to find ways to run scams using the UCC. Hence the purpose for it being the secured party creditor forum. As you can see, Thomas Cat Muhammad L. has come up with what he thinks is absolutely brilliant. He states, I finally found the missing link to enforce a non-judicial lien in any state. Let's read the comments, shall we? It says, what, and go directly to jail? Is the next comment. He says, Terry Campbell, I don't do jail and neither should you. And we're going to move on to the next screenshot. So the next person pops up and says, oh, do tell. Anyone can enforce a lien or foreclosure in non-judicial state. Just post it on the county bulletin board. Then the next person comes in and says, please do tell. Thomas quickly says, a 1099-C. All right, everybody, don't laugh yet. Then another party comes in and says, Thomas Cat, I don't comprehend how a cancellation would be a positive thing. Thomas Cat comes back in and says, see below. Send advisory party your final payment demand letter. Give them 10 days to pay in full. If not paid in full, report the debt to the IRS as a discharged debt, which will become income to the creditor. The IRS will go after that payment obligation notice in the 1099-C, and everyone is happy except your advisory. Now, I'm not going to show you the rest of all of these different screenshots because I can simply say that it's 3 pages worth of, yeah, let's get them, let's screw them over, let's do it. And not even recognizing that this party is leading them down a very, very, very bad path. Here's some interesting facts with regards to the 1099-C. Number 1, it's a cancellation of debt. That cancellation of debt has to be provided by an applicable party. And secondarily, that cancellation of debt has to be real. Even if these minions were actual approved parties to use the 1099-C, which they're not, by the way. We'll be going over to the IRS to take a look at that in a moment. The debt has to be real, meaning you forwarding this party of your adversary, as you claim, a 10-day payment demand doesn't prove that the debt is valid at all. And nor does a UCC you've decided to file without a signed promissory note or a signed securities agreement with the actual who you're calling debtor. Yeah, there's a lot more steps that protect anyone you're going to go after in this manner than you might realize. And believe me, when the IRS catches up to the fact that number 1, you're not approved to be doing the 1099-C, and number 2, you've done it fraudulently, well, your days of let's commit tax fraud will be over with real fast. And now, unfortunately, you should take a look at someone by the name of Winston Shroud, because by doing these types of things right here is how Winston is finding his last 10 years behind bars. The last 10 years of his life behind bars. Thomas, you really didn't do your research on this one. Let's head over to the IRS, shall we? Here we are at the irs.gov website, and we are looking at publication 4681. This has to do with cancellation of debts with a Form 1099-C. And you can see directly in the middle where it says Form 1099-C. If you receive a Form 1099-C, that means an applicable entity has reported an identifiable event to the IRS regarding a debt that you owe. For information on the reasons an applicable entity files Form 1099-C, see identifiable event codes later. Unless you meet one of the exemptions or exclusions, which there are many, by the way, discussed later, this canceled debt is ordinary income and must be reported on the appropriate form discussed above. First of all, the 1099-C would have to go to the person that they're calling their, they're the opposing party, we'll say. And it's going to get worked out long before the IRS ever gets involved, because they're going to turn it in as fraudulent. But regardless, you have to be an applicable entity. And the applicable entities are included as follows. Number 1, a financial institution. And yes, there are ways to determine whether you truly are a financial institution or not. Number 2, a credit union. Number 3, any of the following, its successor or subunit of one of the following: the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or the FDIC, the Resolution Trust Corporation, or the RTC, the National Credit Union Administration, the NCUA, or any other federal executive agency, including government corporations, any military department, the U.S. Postal Service, or the Postal Rate Commission. A corporate subsidiary of a financial institution or credit union if the affiliation subjects the subsidiary to federal or state regulation. A federal government agency, including a department, an agency, a court administrative office, or a judicial or legislative instrumentality. And finally, any organization of which lending money is a significant trade or business. Kind of like Ford Motor Credit, for example. And yes, once again, there are ways to determine whether you're a legitimate financial institution or not. So as you can see, you don't actually qualify as an applicable entity to be filing a 1099-C in any way, shape, or form. First off, the IRS is going to tell you, sorry, Thomas, you're shit out of luck. I guess you shouldn't have lent money to someone that you didn't get a signature on. And even if you had gotten a signature on it, the worst you would have been able to do, my dear, would be to take them to civil court. What you are planning to do is called tax fraud. And because it's erroneous and fraudulent information going into the IRS, that means it's $5,000 per instance per piece of paper that you actually file that takes up their time. And then when they find out you're trying to actually scam someone else, well, let's just say they have a federal court that has a way of dealing with that. So, just so that everybody is aware who is following the Secured Party Creditor Forum on Facebook and who has decided that, oh, let's share this. Yeah, let's do a 1099-C, a cancellation of debt, thereby it falling back on the person we are angry with, without any proof whatsoever of a security agreement that has their signature on it. Let's do it against companies and homeowners, and let's just do it, period, for the fun of it. Well, unfortunately, you're going to find yourself in prison. And guess what? Didn't work out too well for Sharon Tracy Gale Bay, did it? Nobody even knows she's there anymore. They don't even bother to donate to her GoFundMe to help get her out. So if I were you, I would throw Thomas's advice right out the frickin' window. Okay, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.